Hi, everyone. My name is Marie Eve Nadine Jean Baptiste, and welcome to the 30th episode of The Daily Attorney. We have been gone for quite some time. We had to do some reorganization here, but I'm really excited today to bring you our 30th guest on this show. Today, I am interviewing Loune-Djenia Askew, Esquire. She is the founding attorney of Askew and Associates, PA, a general practice law firm in Lauderdale Lakes, Florida. Prior to opening her own firm, she practiced in the areas of academic and business law with a focus in administrative and regulatory law. Pretty huge areas, including commercial procurement and licensure. I can't even say that properly, and state court litigation. Upon graduation, Mrs. Askew received the Murray A. Greenberg Prize in Local Government for Excellence in the Study of Local Government Law and an Excellence in Civic Engagement Medallion of Distinction for completing over 250 pro bono hours. Get it? Additionally, she was published by the University of Miami, published by the University of Miami Race and Social Justice Law Review for her article Confidentiality Agreements, the Florida Sunshine in Litigation Act, the hashtag #MeToo movement, and signing away the right to speak. Mrs. Askew is a member of the Florida Bar and is active in her community by volunteering with LAGEHO Community Development Network. And I'm going to ask you about this. It's pronounced LAGEHO or
LAGEHO.
LAGEHO. Okay. Sorry about that.
No
which
problem.
which is a nonprofit organization based in South Florida that provides much needed assistance to those in need in the state of Florida. Previously, the organization partnered with individuals in the Dominican Republic and Haiti, including the cities of Port-au-Prince, where I was born. And I know my mom's gonna have jokes because I practiced it, and I'm saying Thomazeau. Did I get it
So
right?
I was going to say, I've never even personally been there, so your guess is as good as mine.
And La Gonave, right?
Okay, that one's
Okay.
correct.
she is
Lauderdale.
also exactly. She is also a member of the Broward County Bar Association, the Dream Center Church in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and she serves as the secretary for the Haitian Lawyers Association. Hi, Lynn. Welcome.
Hi.
Thank you so much for being here with me today. I know that we had you originally scheduled and some things happened, and we were actually talking about this a little bit backstage about the wonderful blunders that we go through as business owners, right? And people who are learning, and essentially me having to learn how to produce a podcast when it was done for me. So I usually ask, how did you get to where you are now? But I really want to hear about how you decided to start your firm and what was one of the biggest lessons that you've learned, because I think as business owners, we tend to think things very linear, very one way. And as soon as you're in it, you're like, whoa, this is nothing like what I thought it was, right? So
That's an understatement.
exactly. I'm sure you have some stories, and I'm definitely going to dive deep into your background. But I would love it if you can share, one of those teaching moments that you've had as a business owner.
So thank you so much, Marie, for having me. I wanted to clarify something with my name. I know a lot of people pronounce it that way, but it's Loune-Djenia. I know.
Loune-Djenia. Oh my gosh.
Loune-Djenia. The D is silent.
Ay, ay, ay.
You're good. You're good. I was like, let me make sure before we go any further that I start off by saying the correct pronunciation.
Oh my gosh. And I think this is like the third time I have done that because when we first initially talked,
Oh,
you did
yes.
tell me that. And I keep
No
forgetting the
problem.
D is silent. But you know what? Thank you for that. Because I've got Marie Ives, Marie Yves.
Oh my gosh, Yvette.
Yeah. So I love it. Loune-Djenia.
Thank you. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
You're
But
welcome.
yes, thank you so much for having me. I think this is a great thing that you're doing. I very
Thank
much
you.
appreciate you giving other attorneys an opportunity to share their stories and to speak their truth, especially those who own their own law firms. I love the fact that you said the thing about a lot of us, especially when we're very motivated and ambitious, we go into the situation not fully understanding all the moving pieces. Even if you speak with mentors like myself, I sat down with other mentors, people who are current law firm owners, people
Yep.
who were no longer law firm owners and had shut down their practice and moved on for whatever reason. And even those conversations were not enough to prepare you. It's almost like anything major in life, no amount of preparation will be perfect or enough. So you're going to always need a little bit of faith. And
Yes.
so for me, yes. So for me, that's one of the biggest things, my faith in God. And to go back even when I was younger, my mom found in a sense, a personal statement that I wrote while I was still in middle school.
Oh
Wasn't even
my.
yet. And so I had the picture on my phone because it's so old. She printed it out. This was, I guess, before we were keeping files digitally. She
Oh my
printed it
God.
out and kept it in her files. And while I was in law school, she found it and gave it to me. And in that personal statement, as a middle schooler, I wrote that I was going to open my own law firm.
Isn't that amazing?
So it's been a long time coming. And so, yeah, I know a lot of people are like, I already knew I wanted to be an attorney. I did. I knew from a young age. I wasn't even in middle school yet when I knew I wanted to be an attorney. But to know that the path was already paved since I was in middle school to own my own law firm, that's the part that really blows my mind.
That is a big deal because most middle schoolers, I have a 15-year-old, they're not thinking, they're thinking about the latest sneakers and, when they can play their video games or what did mom make for breakfast or lunch or dinner. They're not thinking of career paths. So I think that that's a huge, it's a huge tell of how much you actually wanted to do this. So when you get in, you start your firm, you talk to all your mentors, you do all your due diligence that we all do, right, before we open our firms. What was the biggest lie that you think you were told?
The biggest lie? That is so interesting. I guess I can say this, but this is not very general, but I did feel more of a sense of community than actually ends up being in the reality.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say this lightly because I have a lot of mentors that I will call or text and we are on the phone the same day and they're helping me with the issue. So I truly love and appreciate those mentors and they know who they are. But there are some practice areas which I actually recently added personal injury to my law firm.
Oh.
And I have seen that the community is not as helpful in regards to that practice area in particular versus practice areas like real estate or estate planning. I have so many mentors in those practice areas. People are willing to share. People are willing to give you the knowledge that they have versus I've seen on the flip side, personal injury. I still do have some mentors in that area, but not nowhere near as many as the other practice areas. So I think that might have been a little bit of not fully the truth. Because even in law school, we're told, you have your colleagues, you have your peers, people are going to help you. And then so it was a rude awakening when I started to explore the practice area on my own to see, wait a minute, a lot of attorneys, they say they want to help you, but then when you actually have, general, when you ask them generally, they say they're going to help you, but then when it becomes a more specific situation and you actually have the client, they're more so asking you to just refer them the case. So that's what I would say. So that's very practice specific. And that's why I'm saying it very lightly because I don't want anyone to take offense to this, especially the that
yeah,
truly
but
are holding it down.
yeah, no, I definitely understand why, and I'm definitely taking notes. So if you see me looking down, it's because I have so many questions to ask you, and I hate that
No
this is only 30
problem.
minutes, but I know that our calendars are just so insane, right?
Mhm.
And no one wants to hear two boring attorneys talking about law all day.
Right, exactly.
But this show is to highlight that we are definitely more than, our degrees and what we practice, and we're families, we're moms, we're dads, we're not dads, excuse me, we're moms, we're parents, we're so many things outside of, being attorneys. Apparently I can't talk today. Anyway.
My gosh. Listen, I made sure I had a cup of coffee. I can't. Now I'm not able to say the word right. No, I made sure I had a cup of coffee before this.
Okay.
I need all the energy I need.
Right? Yeah, my calendar is insane today. I have I think 7 meetings, and I just added an 8th, and I'm like, this is crazy. Yeah.
Mm.
Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays are my meeting days. So after that,
Okay.
Thursday, Friday, we do some work. But I did want to ask you 2 things. Number one, why did you add personal injury? I saw that the firm does quite a few, and I love your reviews. Your clients love you. Why did you add something else on there? And that's number one. Number two, as far as lack of mentorship, a colleague of mine, so I am the chair of the Baltimore County Trust and Estates Committee here in Maryland. And I was speaking to my vice chair, and she was telling me she has the opposite.
Wow.
She's offering and no one is calling.
Oh,
So,
wow.
but we practice trust and estate. So I think, as you said, it's area specific, because I
Oh,
think
yeah.
with PI, it's a situation where you're considered a competitor,
Right.
whereas for us,
Exactly.
it may not be as competitive. So that's my 2 cents. But how did you
Mhm.
feel about adding PI, and what made you decide to do that in that area? Excuse me.
The interesting story about personal injury is that ever since I was in law school, I had people coming up to me, people in my church, family members, my mom, my husband, just you name it, asking me would I practice personal injury. And
Oh,
I was always, in a sense, I want to say I had the misconception of the what a personal injury attorney looked like. And my practice is based on service with love. And so I was concerned that if I am supposed to be a service-based firm, that I would not be able to serve my clients the best in that practice area. But then when it became personal to me because my mom's friend was injured, and
mhm.
so I was able to see the flip side of I am able to serve my community, because even after opening my practice, I would get calls and refer those clients out to other attorneys. So it was an area of need in the community, even Haitian community, as well as where I'm located in Lauderdale Lakes. And then on top of that, I think family and friends and loved ones already saw that that was an area that I should have been in, and I just was not able to see it until it finally hit close to home.
That's
So that's
good.
what it came down to.
Yeah,
This is needed. The fact that now people are constantly requesting it, and now we have, in a sense, a friend of the family who needs the service. Okay, I can't keep running away, in a sense, from this practice area anymore.
yeah. It's like running after you, and you're like, no, get away from me. Yeah, it's one of those situations. It's funny that you say that though, because it happens quite a bit with us. When I
Mhm.
was doing family law, I got a lot of calls for wills and stuff like that, and probate. I actually prefer, I'm no longer practicing family law, but
Okay.
I essentially just focus on trust and estates and taxation.
Awesome.
And yeah, you guys, you do it completely opposite, and you're crushing it, because when we first came out of law school, it was, oh, you have to, do one area and stick with
Mhm.
that,
Mhm.
right? Because you can't do all of them great. It's like, but there's hundreds of attorneys, thousands of attorneys that are doing it like you. and are absolutely crushing it. And personal injury is a very, in my opinion, other than family law, it's a very personal area of law, because you are redressing someone's wounds, right? So it's a big one. And with that said, let me ask you this: how are you taking care of yourself, you know, during all of this transition with adding a new practice area, and essentially adding a practice area where you're going to have to handhold, you know, a lot more than some others?
So I definitely have my support system to think, including even my staff. So thankfully, we do have a legal assistant in the office that did come from a personal injury law firm. So in a sense, we have that edge.
Okay.
Yes.
everything is just like falling into place.
Yes, exactly. And that it goes back to my belief system in God. So once God sent that legal assistant to me, and it was the final piece that I needed to confirm that, okay, this is something that I need to do. And so I have support system in regards to the firm, support system in regards to my family. My husband, he keeps me really grounded many times, because like you said, the practice areas are so personal to me, and, you know, to my practice, and I care about my clients. Sometimes I can try to bring the work home with me. He does a good job of, okay, babe, you're at home now. You cannot talk about work all day long. And he kind of helps me with those types of things. I try to exercise as often as possible. That's one way that helps in regards to just stress relief. Other things that I do is travel as often as possible, even if it's just a staycation and you know, we're just down the street in Fort Lauderdale Beach. Just a change in the environment and being in a sense away from home, that adds to you know, relief of stress. And for the most part, I do go into the office, but sometimes I say to my staff, hey, I'm going to work remotely today. And even that is, in a sense, a self-care day for me. So I try to just incorporate self-care as often as possible, because I need to be my best to be the best attorney for my clients.
Yeah, working from home is definitely different. I never looked at it as a self-care regimen. Never thought to look at it that way.
Understood.
And I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, it is a self-care regimen, because, you know, you're at home, you're not rushed, you're not in traffic. You can make the meals, you have the time to make the meals that you want to make. You can make that salad for lunch and not have to order out. It's a different, type of work.
Exactly.
When you travel, because, you know, you're a business owner first and foremost, and then an attorney. When you travel, have you learned how to kind of cut it off and then just enjoy what you're doing with your family, versus doing like me and taking the laptop? I don't do that anymore. I used to take the laptop and talk to people and not enjoy. What have you started doing?
So I'm not 100% there yet, right? So I'll start with that. But what I can say, the last big trip that I took was actually in May for my wedding anniversary.
Oh,
and yes, thank you. We had such a great time, and that was one of the first times where I kind of unplugged 80%. I'm not gonna say I was 100%, but I did everything. Oh my gosh. Right? I didn't do any actual substantive work. And going back to having a great support system, my legal assistant was texting me, please stop responding to emails. Please enjoy your husband on your anniversary trip. And so, yes, having people around you who truly see your, you know, how hard you work, and then also see that you need a break, and helping to encourage you. And so I only had to get on the phone one time during the trip, and it was because the same legal assistant really said, okay, this time I actually need you. If you just have a few minutes. And
Yeah.
so and after that, that was it. But everything else, even when I would try to respond, she was texting me like, stop emailing us. We know you're supposed to be on the trip, but you're reading emails.
It is difficult though, because in your mind, you're just like, okay, well, if I do this, if I do that, but you just get sucked in. I remember the last time I went on, I actually just went on vacation.
Nice.
I was gone for 7 days. I didn't check a thing.
I'm
But
so proud of you.
and thank you. But here's the problem. The
Oh
panic
no.
set in when I came back.
Oh no, when you saw all the missed emails?
The emails, the phone calls, and from third parties, not clients, because I always send clients a message. Listen, I have no access to emails or ...
Right.
I'm gonna be away. So they already know. But a colleague of mine, Nicole, she's a former paralegal at the office. She handed me a stack of mail that I straight told her, I said, take it back.
Oh my God.
She was like, but it's your mail, and I offered to open it for you, but you told me you didn't want me to do any extra work. I was like, well, I didn't think it was going to be that much. So when oh my gosh. So that's one of the things that I'm definitely going to do differently. I'm going to at least, because what I like to do is I like to close the firm. That means everybody's on vacation, including your own vacation.
Okay.
Right. I'm going to have something where people can alternate coming in.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So if you ever decide to unplug 100%, just make sure you have people holding down the fort.
Oh yes.
That's one of the things that I learned. Now, I definitely, as someone who does an insane amount of pro bono each year, I usually average about close to 400 hours per year pro bono.
That's awesome.
Yeah, well, congratulations on your award.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I just want to know, what made you decide to do that many hours? And do you ever get feedback from your clients that you've helped with pro bono? And, what sorts of feedback do you get?
So far, I want to say that my favorite testimony in regards to a pro bono client was an immigration client. They were actually detained. They were detained and they were not able to get any help, to the point prior to us helping them on a pro bono basis, they actually hired and paid for an attorney, and the prior attorney was unsuccessful. And so it was really unfortunate because, of course, the attorney actually did the work. So there was, not a refund in regards to the services. But once the client came to me, I felt that, I'm not going to go ahead and charge them for this. I'm just going to try my best and, see what happens, especially as a newer attorney. It's easy to, in a sense, count yourself out, especially if the client says, oh, this attorney helped me, and you see that the attorney is more experienced than you are. And it goes back to when you're graced for something and you care about the clients, there's ways that God will just open the doors for you. And so I remember just getting on the phone with the officer that was assigned to her. And I said, I know this attorney was already on the file, but here I'm the pro bono attorney now assigned to this case. We're just trying to see what we can do for the client. And this was around Christmas. We wanted them to be released by Christmas, but it did happen once the new year came in. But basically, I wrote, basically a brief to the officer. He informed me to who to address it to, and he kind of told me what options we would have available for the client. And in a sense, we were able to get that client released, and now we're assisting them further with their case. But it was just such a great victory for the client, and even for us as a firm, even though it was a pro bono client, because it just reminded us of why we're here.
Why you're here.
And we're here to help people. And so these are the things that kind of confirm that.
Yeah. Some of our biggest successes as attorneys come from cases that are pro bono. And that's one of the things that I had to learn. You can get the most amazing outcome for a client. Sometimes you're just like, okay, this is great. And I love this. And I love the work that I did on this, but it's just like my son would say, and don't laugh at me for this, it just hits differently.
Yes. No, it's true. It's true. It hits
I try not to use new slang because I am not under 25, but I just had to say it because he watches the show. He watches the show, so I know he's gonna be like, "Really? You said that on TV on a broadcast? Okay."
Broadcast.
Yeah.
I was going to say one of the newest lingos that I heard, learned from someone who's still in high school was "we're in motion," and I
What
laughed.
does that mean?
Apparently, it's like basically you're on your way somewhere. Okay, we're in motion. And I'm like, why are you guys talking like this? I laugh too.
They talk very, very weird. Very weird. They're just weird children. I laugh.
I say you're on your way. Why are you saying you're in motion?
Yeah. It sounds like they're like working for a government spy agency or something. It sounds bizarre. I know. And I don't understand half of what they say. And then I think to myself, our parents probably felt the exact same way, probably worse, because English was not their first language.
Exactly.
So for them, it probably felt worse. It really sucks. I think we were trying to get you on for so for the month of May in celebration of Haitian Flag Day. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were trying to do that. So we'll definitely get you on next year. To get some updates on the amazing stuff that you've been up to. I do want to ask you one thing before you leave, because I couldn't even pronounce half these words, which is crazy because I have like 15,000 degrees. But anyway, what made you decide to focus on business law, administrative, commercial procurement? What does that even mean? And how do you go from that to saying, you know what, I'm going to open up my own law firm and I'm going to help the undeserved. I'm going to, volunteer in my community and I'm just going to kick butt. Like, what? It's apples and oranges.
I know. It's so funny and crazy when I think about it because, okay, and I'll try to go as quickly as possible so we don't go over the time too much. But there's this Bible verse that basically says that you can choose your plans, but like God orders your steps. And I know I'm butchering it terribly, but that's the gist of it, right? So I went into college saying that I wanted to be a business attorney, and I followed that path. So fast forward, I got into law school. My favorite class was contracts, which actually led to the major interest in real estate law, actually, because I love contracts so much. But I was a great legal writer. So my legal writing professor, my very first semester of law school, said to me, I know you want to do transactional work, but I think you would do great in litigation as well. So then that kind of opened the door in my head, like, okay, I can look into litigation. But then instead of choosing one, I kind of just chose both. I said, I'm going to do both. I'm going to do transaction and litigation. And so I started looking into in-house counsel positions. That led me to volunteering, well, not volunteering, sorry, interning at the Broward County Attorney's Office, which is general counsel for a local government agency. And then fast forward, understanding that if I'm a business attorney and represent a business, I can be exposed to both transactions and litigation. Yes. Which is exactly what happened as a first-year associate at the prior firm. We were general counsel for a major university in South Florida. I'm not going to say the name, just in case of privacy restrictions, but our client was a major university, and they also included multiple departments, including healthcare departments. So now we're dealing with education law, we're dealing with healthcare law, we're dealing with administrative law, regulatory law, because they are licensed. They have laws that they have to follow, regulations that they have to follow. They are purchasing things. That's why we're dealing with procurement. They're being sued. That's why we're dealing with litigation. So it was basically general counsel, in-house counsel, but at a law firm.
Very much so.
It was very interesting and very peculiar, right?
Yeah.
So then fast forward, this is how I even started the firm, really. Was myself and my husband purchased real estate last year, And I was just speaking to my realtor, and I said to my realtor, I want to do the legal side of the transaction. How does that work? Sat down with a real estate attorney who's one of my mentors and actually on the Haitian Lawyers Association board with me. Shout out to him. And he said, this is what you're going to do. This is how you're going to start up your firm. And so immediately my practice areas, just starting off the firm, were already 4 practice areas. I already had business law, real estate law, civil litigation, and immigration.
Okay.
And so it was, in a sense, all areas that I've already practiced, and real estate was the new area, and immigration, even in law school, I would volunteer and do immigration law. So it just kind of started that way, but I knew those were not going to be my only practice areas. And so I just called myself a general practice attorney. And then from there, I added on to it. Wills and trusts, I did that my 3rd year of law school, enjoyed it. I even did one internship where that was part of the task. We would do business law and estate planning there at that firm. And so I got such a variety of experiences throughout law school that it was almost like inevitable that I would practice more than one area.
Yeah. And I mean, you're doing it well. So keep doing it. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep helping the people that you help. Whenever I interview, different guests, I always look at comments of, what your clients and stuff are saying about you. And you are touching a lot of people and you are doing amazing work. So please continue to do it. If there is one thing that you essentially want your legacy to be known as, to your family, your friends, your clients, what would that be?
I love this because I've been saying this since law school, and it's truly a desire of mine, is the legacy that I want to leave behind is that I served others and that I pushed my community forward.
Sweet.
And so my community, Haitians, my community of Black people, women, that I just served others and pushed my community forward.
I love it. Well, thank you so much. I hold the same sentiment. We are in a very unique position to be from the Caribbean, to also be American, to be attorneys and women and brown and so many different things that I think that it's incumbent upon us to actually leave legacies and to, kind of reach back and help others in moving their lives forward so we can move together as a community. So I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that with me and the viewers. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. Loune-Djenia, I'm literally shortening your name.
No problem. Loune is fine as well.
If we want to get in touch with you on Instagram, what is your handle?
So on Instagram is Askew Law PA. So Askew, LAWPA. And then on Facebook, you could search the entire firm name, Askew Law. Okay, so it's Askew and Associates PA. But if you search Askew Law PA, you should be able to find me on Facebook as well.
Yes. And this is your website.
Yes, exactly. And then they'll have, contact information, phone number, email.
Yes. And thank you so much for joining me today. And I am your host, Marie Eve. Same here. Hope to have you again next year. I'm hoping to do a roundtable with the HLA attorneys that have been on the show, some new, some old, hopefully, including myself. So we can just talk about our community and ways in which we can help move it forward. So both here and in Haiti.
Awesome.
We're all over the place.
Exactly.
I am your host, Marie Eve G. Baptiste. Please follow, like, and subscribe to St. Eve Law Firm as well as Askew Law PA on social media. We are both on all social media outlets. The Askew Law Firm is not on Twitter, but that might change in the future. You never know. But please follow, like, and subscribe. If you guys have any questions, you want to give us a call. Our phone number is 443-707-8692. And feel free to visit our website, stevelaw.com. And like Askew Law's webpage, you can also put in your name, phone number, and tell us what your issue is, and we'll try to help as best as we can. And with that said, thank you everyone for joining us for episode number 30 of the Daily Attorney Show. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.